Giants, who have scored 0 points this year, are favored by 5.5 against the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
Last week, the Commanders were favored by 7 against the Arizona Cardinals. Granted, they were at home. They were at home.
Mm-hmm.
But just a classic NFC East battle here between the Giants and Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of week 2 questions where the sort of the whole big picture is how much did week 1, how much was it for real and how much was it the opposition they ran up against? So that's a Giants question. How bad are the Giants versus how much did they just run into a buzzsaw in Dallas, particularly on the defensive side of the ball? Dallas's defense, Giants offense. We know that offensive line isn't great looking on paper. They still don't really have any receivers, even though, they've been talking up, like, in training camp, Jalen Hyatt and all that kind of thing. Like, we still expected their number 1 receiver to be Darren Waller, who himself didn't get anything done against Dallas. It doesn't look good on paper, and it ran up against a buzzsaw in Dallas. But the Cardinals' defense is a very different proposition. So now we get to sort of see, okay, what can the Giants actually achieve with this group?
I think you revert back to some preseason takes, not to overemphasize the rain, but they couldn't. I mean, there was a few fumbles in there because of the rain. They couldn't block Dallas, of course. They also didn't really have to. They weren't really challenged defensively, the Giants. The other thing is the Giants' defensive line should be good. No matter what happened the other night, losing by 1 million, they should be good. And they should have a lot of success against the Arizona interior offensive line. What are you smiling about?
Just do you like clipping your catch, your save of the bottle?
Oh, did he?
Look, former professional athlete over here. This is high-level stuff. You never lose it. Never lose the cat-like reflexes.
Is that in the chat here?
Yeah.
Why did it get popped to the top? What are you doing, Slack?
No, look, I think it's a similar discussion on the other side of the ball. Like, Dexter Lawrence didn't do anything against a beat-up Dallas interior. Like, Dallas were down to their third-string guard at one point in that game, and Dexter Lawrence still wasn't really a factor. That's not good. But we know Dexter Lawrence from a year ago was a game wrecker. Like, he decided the playoff game in their favor against Minnesota. So, yeah, if he can't show up against the Arizona offensive line, that's a big deal.
I see the catch.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be so mean to the Cardinals every week, I think. They got the Barbarian and all, and he gets to go up, he'll have a few rushes against Evan Neal.
The Barbarian. Dude's going to have 10 sacks by October.
But that guy, like, you can't rely on the Barbarian to have a strip sack that leads to a touchdown every single week to cover. Like, you can't do that every single week. Now, the formula could be correct. Evan Neal, Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Strip sack. That's strip sack potential there.
Those are things that add up to
But like to have it at the right part of the field and lead it to a touchdown, Josh Dobbs leading the Cardinals.
Was this the most like inept passing week performance you can remember from like the league?
Yes.
None of them were quarterbacks that had like 130 yards passing. Is insane.
There was a lot of data out there. There's number of teams above certain EPA, negative EPA. It was like first time in a while. You have these one-off weeks where it happens, but it's in week. There was some rain games, there were some weather games that matters, but it's a little trend to keep an eye on.
14 quarterbacks had less than 200 passing yards in week 1.
Yeah,
that doesn't count Aaron Rodgers, who had 0.
Tom Brady retires.
15,
all of a sudden, the league can't throw the ball. The offense just
except Tua.
No, it's just something to keep an eye on. If it's a league trend or if it just happened to be what those matchups were. There was a lot of. Can't wait for week 2. A lot more information that we'll glean here. Give me the Giants, man, to cover the 5.5 on the road.
I can't buy into Giants covering 5.5 against anybody.
Going back to the Dome. They got the Dome here. Giants are going to be much better.
No, not buying it.